Welcome to the podcast for Beyond the Mic, December 1st, 2014. Talked a little bit about Movember, but the best thing about today's show was Dr. Laurie Betito, author of The Sex Bible for Sex Over People with 50, opened the phone lines, had a fantastic time, hoping to make that a regular segment.
This is Beyond the Mic with Mike Bullard on NEWSTALK 1010.
All right, general distress. I didn't say what you think I said. I didn't say genital distress. I said general distress.
The following program may prove vexatious, incendiary, annoying, frustrating, and cause general distress. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, that's perfect. Great lead into today's show, because I am here today with someone who's going to help your genital distress, Dr. Laurie Betito, who wrote the Sex Bible for people over 50. She's got a PhD. What's your PhD in, Laurie?
In clinical psychology.
Clinical psychology. So it's about more than sex.
Right. I do marital work, all kinds of stuff, but I did specialize in sexuality early in my career.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a small world.
And why is that, Mike?
I don't have letters after my name, but I delved into...
But you have things after your name.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about this book. It's fascinating. It's the Sex Bible for people over 50. And Laurie is Dr. Laurie, if I can call you Dr. Laurie. Too bad about that other one, huh? Because you could be Dr. Laurie. You could be syndicated. And she's not a nice person.
Yeah, no. And some people often say Dr. Laura. And I said, please, I'm the antithesis of Dr. Laura.
Dr. Laura.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing,
You
I
should
do the
have
same.
a phrase like, I am my daughter's stepmother.
Oh, great.
You know what I mean? That's what her should say. I am my daughter's evil stepmother.
Right.
Laurie Betito, PhD, Sex Bible for people over 50. We're going to take your calls throughout the course of the entire show today. The entire show is dedicated to sex for people over 50. Jim Richards is 48, so it's going to be one short crossover. Talking to Pete Bombacci. Pete is the countrywide director of Movember Canada. How are you, Pete?
I'm good, Mike, and congratulations on taking the lead.
Is it over now?
I don't know if this will ever come to an end, because I've been laughing my head off with you guys going at each other so much over the last 30 days. And honestly, again, I just have to say thank you, because you have created so many conversations about men's health over the last 30 days because of these mustaches and the banter you guys have had. So you've really helped us change the face of men's health.
Did you know that if you have sex with a man over 50, his odds of getting prostate cancer are cut by how much, Dr. Laurie Betito?
I'm not sure if it's having sex over 50 necessarily, but there is something about that. If you have enough ejaculations, it does protect you. It's not going to get rid of it, but it can protect you a little bit.
I suddenly realized I'm not mature enough to have you here for an entire hour.
No. He's turning red.
Yeah, there was a study out of Montreal just recently about the number of ejaculations. The doctor is correct.
Okay. Apparently that's today's magic word.
That's part of the Movember journey, I guess, Mike.
Yeah.
The medical opinions and recommendations expressed on this program are strictly those of the commentator or commentators, and not that of NEWSTALK 1010 or Bell Media.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's talk about sex and me. Boy, I tell you, I cannot tell you how much I love this. Everything I've ever gotten in trouble for around here for the past 3 years, we're now devoting an entire hour to. Just goes to show you. Get a doctor to talk about it, and everything's A-okay.
There you go.
Dr. Laurie Betito is here, PhD, writer of the book, The Sex Bible for People Over 50, available at Chapters in Indigo. I understand
Everywhere.
It's already on the way to being a bestseller. Mm-hmm. First, we're going to talk about 5 myths.
Myths.
Yes. Sounds like Ryan Doyle trying to say miss. 5 myths about people who have sex after 50. Myth number 1, and this is a myth apparently, women peak in their 30s.
Right. We often say that, but in fact, men and women peak, if it's a hormonal peak we're talking about, we peak around the same time, 18 or 19 years old, and then there's a slow decline, but barely noticeable.
I didn't lose my virginity till I was 19, so I kind of missed
You were at your peak. No, that was
the only
pretty much
people
your
there
peak.
for my peak were me and me.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
However, and then what studies have looked at is how women evolve sexually, and much later do they come into their own sexually, where they feel
Right.
more comfortable in their bodies, where they know what they want, and they much less inhibitions as they get older.
Right.
Because young women, unfortunately, don't even know much about their own bodies. Like, I have asked groups of women, how many of you could pick out your vulva out of a lineup and you get no hands up? Like,
thought-
maybe one.
Vulva.
Well, that's what we call the whole female genital area.
Oh, okay.
The vagina is just the entry.
I have trouble picking. I've had a lot of trouble picking up my Volvo out of a parking lot.
Yes,
it's not
Volvo.
the same
No.
thing.
But ask a whole bunch of guys if they could pick out their penises from a lineup. They all the hands go up.
Yeah, I could pick mine out.
Exactly. There
It
you
would
go.
be the. It would be the.
Let's not go there, could
It
we?
would be the one that stood out the most.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Myth number 2: the orgasms you have when you're young are better and more intense than when you're older.
Again, studies show that many women will have their first orgasms or experience orgasm much later in life for very much the same reasons, being in touch with their body. Some women will report different kinds of orgasms, even first-time female ejaculation later in life.
That word again.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you tell me if I'm going, too far in my...
That word always makes me laugh.
Does it?
Yeah, it sounds like immaculate, right? Yet when it comes to
Con-
religion,
conception?
we're told not to have ejaculate. Yet it sounds like immaculate. So it always makes me laugh. I always associate it with immaculate.
Okay.
Myth number 3: erection problems are inevitable.
People associate erectile dysfunction with aging. And the truth is that only about a quarter of men require medication to cure or to help with ED, not cure it, but to at least give them erections.
Right.
So it's not true that everybody loses it. Every man at some point in his life, and sometimes regularly, will have trouble with their erections, but that could be due to stress, alcohol, depression, all kinds of
So
things.
alcohol really can lead to erectile dysfunction.
Well, it can, yes, it can. So can smoking. Anything that affects your
not,
arteries.
Not smoking. I've never seen any evidence about smoking. I don't drink.
Sure, there are. Haven't you seen the things in the packet on the cigarette packages with the cigarette broken
The little,
in half? Like
the
it
cigarette
looks
broken
like
in half
right.
like a penis. Yeah,
That's
it
right.
always
Looks like
amuses
a-
it. It always amuses the hell out of me.
But anything that blocks arteries is going to affect, obviously, erectile functioning.
Myth number 5: we lose interest in sex as we grow older.
Well, you tell me.
Nope.
That's right. We don't. And,
I think you lose interest in sex with the same person.
well, you're not completely wrong, except that what you lose is sometimes that strong desire or spontaneous desire for sex. At least for women, that tends to be the case. So in long-term relationships. So they need more than just, they can't just get aroused just
They
like
need more
that.
foreplay. Women need
yes,
more
they need more
foreplay.
context too. Other things going on. We could talk about
And we're
that.
going
but
to talk
desire's
about all
big.
that when we get back from this break. We're going to focus on myth number 5. We lose interest in sex. Sorry, myth number 4. We lose interest in sex as we get older. And then we're going to talk about myth number 5. I love the fact that you've blown this one out of the water. Dr. Laurie Betito, and we're going to take your calls during the last half hour of the show. What's the name of your show, by the way?
It's called Passion. It's been on for, we just celebrated our 15th year on the air every night in Montreal.
CJAD,
On
our
our
sister station.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to come here. I think Toronto's ready for this. They used to say Toronto wasn't ready for this type of thing.
Right.
But I
was
think
here for a
Toronto's
bit.
ready for a call-in show at a certain time of night.
Yes, it's on at 10 o'clock in Montreal every night.
Have you met our brand manager, Mike Dixon?
I know him very well.
I think he's 30.
He was with us, don't forget.
He's 34.
You
and
stole him.
He's never had sex. And I think once he does, he'll feel that Toronto's ready for this.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure
right.
he loves that.